bored by accident. I was a manager at one of the big chains, grocery store, and one of my employees, a part-timer, was a DJ. And he came to me and said, oh, these guys are making so much money doing parties. This is about 1983. And I said, what's it about? And he said, they're renting these big halls and get the sound system, and he's a DJ and blah, blah, blah. He's going through that whole thing. And I'm more of a marketing guy and, straight business. And so I went out there. He showed me a flyer. He had his name on it. And I said, this ain't shit. This is some ugly, this is from the outside looking in. Never saw anything like that. And so I said, well, I'll go to one of your little events that you're DJing at. Went to it, saw what it was about. I'm doing math. How much money, how much these kids are paying to get in and everything. And I said, well, anybody can do that. He said, no, they got this sold up. They got it sold up. So I just went out, did a little research, found out this is back in the day when they used to wire and hang posters and, street hustle. And I said, and I did it like a business. I said, I can go out down to Indiana, pick up these posters, go to the print shop at the time, where everybody else was going. I did a budget. I did it and I put it together. And from the first time on, they made money. I said, this is real easy. And this was just before the house music thing started up, because the house acts didn't start up till around 85. And so I was looking at the hip hop thing then. And they had the Roxy in New York. And this was when the whole break dancing and the Beat Street and the breaking things were coming out. So I get on a plane, fly to New York. Now, I'm already a manager. I'm making good money doing what I do. So this is like a sideline. And I went out there, and I went to the Bronx. Now, I rented a Lincoln Continental. I'm driving around in the Bronx, and then back then, it looked like a bomb. Just blew up around there. And I got the chance to meet some of the people, the groundwork, the people in the beginning of the whole hip hop thing. And so when I went to the Roxy and I saw what they did, and I saw this whole thing was a skating rink. So I brought it back. That same concept, I said, I can do this in Chicago at the place at the time, which was the Rainbow. It was a skating rink. And I was a roller skater, and I did that, and I was doing skating. I started doing skating parties and stuff alike. But this, I said, now this dance thing is intriguing. But out there, they had stars. They had, the whole thing going on, and all the hip hop artists were coming along. But this was the early infancy. This is when I think I rented the Rainbow. First act I hired was Roxanne Shante. I think she was 14 years old. I think I paid her $1,000 or $750. Her mother, I think her mother came with her. It's so long ago. This has got to be 84, and immediately these things started making money. And I did Roxanne Shante. I think it was UTFO. I did a co-promo when they did the Fresh Fest. They did the RUN-DMC, and these were all. This is when all these people were kids then. When I did Run, the funny story I tell about the RUN-DMC thing is I was just a co-promoter. I think it was, I forgot who bought out the tour, and they wanted a local Chicago guy to help, because you got to know the streets. And so I came in and did my thing. And I remember when they came into the venue, this is at the UIC Pavilion, holds about 10,000 people, and sold out. And they showed up, and I remember Jam Master Jay goes to Run, he goes, no, not Run, who did he go? DMC. He said, dude, did you get my records? They came in a cab. They didn't want to wait for the limo. They jumped in a cab and came to the venue. He said, do I look like your N-word? He said, no. And then so the cab driver drove off. So he had no records. And this is back in the day, they used records. That was the track to the show. And, so I had my DJ, which was a DJ called Eric the Wizard. I had him go to his house, get the records, I said, grab any RUN-DMC records that you have, and he brought it back. And I remember he did that show, Jam Master Jay did that show. No, the records weren't marked or anything, and without a hitch. I mean, he, boom, bam. But this was the whole New York thing, and the show was on point. But everything was raw back then. I did the Fat Boys Wipeout tour and everything else. But doing all of this thing, when all this other stuff was going along, my other DJs at the club, I was doing Rainbow every Saturday night. Young kids, packed house every Saturday. And I quit my job, 14 years working at a chain. But I said, I want to do this because I was making 4 and 5 times. And I was making good money, profit sharing, the whole thing. But I was making 4 and 5 times the amount doing these shows. So I took a chance and said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. While I'm young, I can do this.